Hello. Today we will talk about the prevention and management of disabling medical conditions in rehabilitation. The aim of rehabilitation is to maximize the potential to restore a person who has an impairment or an incapacity for service at work. The prevention are at these levels. The primary prevention, here the action is taken to prior to the onset of the disability or disease, which will remove the possibility that a disease or disability will occur. Secondary prevention, action which halts the progress of the disease or disability or its incipient stage and prevents complications. Rehabilitation of those suffering from brain injury requires the effort of team members while meeting the patient and family at the level of their present need. So, the management includes the stimulation, structure and reintegration. Here are some examples of retraining and rehabilitation we are seeing in this slide. Now, rehabilitation and retraining will undoubtedly form part of the recovery process. The point of rehabilitation and retraining is to aid recovery and to help to return in some normality as quickly as possible. Reframing will focus on specific needs such as improving mobility, improving the use of prosthetic limb, psychological assistance, improving memory and introduction of other aids. A brilliant range of therapies, aids and professionals are available for retraining and rehabilitation. Now, alternative complementary approaches. These healthcare and medical practice, these are called CAM, complementary and alternative healthcare and medical practices. So, it is a group of diverse medical and healthcare systems, practices and products that are not presently considered to be part of conventional medicine. Today, CAM practices and therapies that are proven safe and effective become accepted as the mainstream healthcare practices. CAM practices may be grouped within 5 major domains: alternative medical systems, mind-body interventions, biologically based treatments, manipulative and body-based methods, and energy therapies. So, alternative complementary approaches, here we are seeing Ayurveda and all that, all are come under this umbrella only. The basic philosophy of this area include holistic care, which focus on treating a human being as a whole person. It includes Ayurveda, yoga, massage, meditation, diet and herbs, naturopathy, non-invasive treatments, homeopathy, etc. It is designed as effective, safe, proved after many trials. Many treatments lack solid research. The changes and possible benefits of many complementary and alternative treatments remain unproved. Basic principles of alternative approach include a partnership between the patient and the practitioner in the healing process to facilitate the body's innate healing response, the consideration of all factors that influence health, wellness and disability. The acupuncture is being practiced for relief or the prevention of pain and various other health conditions. Preclinical studies have documented acupuncture effects, but they have not been able to fully explain how acupuncture works within the framework of Western system of medicine. Ayurveda, which literally means the science of life, is a natural healing system developed in India. It is a comprehensive system of medicine that places equal emphasis on the body, mind and spirit and strive to restore the innate harmony of the individual. Massage is one of the part of it. Homeopathy, biofeedback and other spiritual and mindfulness activities are also part of it. Now, assistive and corrective devices. It is used to increase, maintain or improve only type of disability condition in the rehabilitation field. The quality of device and staff training plays an important role. Example: calculators, communication boards, wheelchairs, computer softwares, crutches, walking sticks, tricycles, prosthetics, magnifying glasses, the hearing aids, cushions, smartphones, braille system, etc. It should be designed by individualized education programming by trained professionals according to the need and requirement of the individual. As per UNICEF strategies for providing assistive devices, a need to consider following principles: availability. Services and products are available in sufficient quantity as close as possible to communities. Accessibility. Services and products are accessible to everyone who needs them. Their delivery should be equitable to avoid discrepancies between genders, impairment groups and geographic regions. Affordability. Services and products are affordable to everyone who needs them. Adaptability. Services and products are adapted and modified to ensure they are appropriate to needs and requirements of the individual. Acceptability. Factors like efficiency, reliability and simplicity, safety, comfort and aesthetics should be taken into account to ensure that device and related services are acceptable. Quality. Product quality can be measured through applicable technical standards or guidelines in terms of strength, durability, capacity, safety and comfort. 3 assistive and corrective methods and devices help to stay in balance and in health. The success of rehabilitation and movement correction depend upon this. Now, environmental modification. These are internal and external physical adaptations to home or workplace necessary to ensure health, welfare and safety of the individual need. These modifications enable the individual to function with greater independence and prevent also institutionalization. Now, the functional limitations. Functional limitations are the restrictions or lack of abilities in performance. To keep on check on the functional limitations, following 2 points should be considered. First is the measurement. It must be standardized for the age of the person with a disability condition. Next is the measuring the effect of the intervention provided. Example, checking the levels of certain substances in the blood, range of motion, change in range of motion or strength in laboratory. The onset of the age of onset of an impairment and the duration of impairment are also important aspects of functional impairment. Now, strategies for musculoskeletal system. Functional limitation: decreased strength, decreased range of motion, pain, osteoporosis, asymmetric motor performance, aging, decreased flexibility, obesity, balance, strength, etc. Now, strategies to reduce musculoskeletal system. Maintenance of exercise programs for increasing strength and flexibility, falls avoidance practices, osteoporosis prevention and management, and use of proper posture device utilization. Now, cardiovascular system. Functional limitations are hypertension, osteosclerosis, limited activity and exercise, thrombosis. Strategies to reduce functional limitations. Health practices to identify risk factors like hypertension, smoking, diabetes, etc., and initiation of prevention of management strategies. Now, respiratory system. Functional limitations are compromised breathing or cough to underlying weakness, allergy. Strategies to decrease functional limitations: use of assistive devices, healthy body activities like yoga, avoidance of smoke and other allergens. Psychological and behavioral modification, that is, identify stress and anxiety and provide behavior management program for that. Gastrointestinal system. The functional limitations are increased bowel activities, esophageal reflux, peptic ulcer, hemorrhoids, gastric problems, etc. The strategies to reduce these are good nutrition with diet modification, medication and consultation. Thank you.